You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
Three numbers before the market opens. Samsung Electronics, KOSPI, 005930, and SK Hynix, KOSPI, 000660. Single stock leverage ETFs traded 10.9 trillion won, roughly $7.6 billion in a single day. That's 1.7 times the entire daily volume of all 48 conventional Korean leverage ETFs combined. May forced liquidations hit 707.7 billion won, approximately $490 million, the worst of the year, even as KOSPI rose 28.4% that month, and Goldman Sachs just raised its 12-month KOSPI target to 12,000, the second upward revision in less than a month. It's Thursday, June 4th. Here's what today's story could mean for the Korean market. The single stock leverage ETF market is 1 week old and already structurally lopsided. Samsung Asset Management's KOSDAQ SK Hynix Single Stock Leverage ETF has a market cap of 2.2 trillion won. KOSDAQ's Samsung Electronics leverage stands at 1.8 trillion. Mirai Asset's Tiger equivalents follow at 1.4 trillion and 890 billion won. Among all other asset managers, only one product, ACE Samsung Electronics leverage, crossed 100 billion won. The rest are trading between 10 and 20 billion won daily and struggling to build liquidity. That concentration is producing a dangerous side effect, tracking error. When liquidity providers can't match order flow, ETFs trade above their actual net asset value. Rise, Samsung Electronics Single Stock Leverage and Plus Samsung Electronics Single Stock Leverage both showed tracking errors above 2% at close. The inverse product, Plus Samsung Electronics Inverse 2X, showed a minus 2.70% gap. Any tracking error above 1% at close is a mandatory disclosure event in Korea. The industry warning, you can get the direction right and still lose money if you bought at a 2% premium. The May liquidation story shows the other side of this market. KOSPI broke 8,000 on May 15th, then pulled back to 7,493. Investors who borrowed to buy at the peak got caught. The concentrated forced selling on May 20th reached 145.8 billion won, the largest single-day liquidation since October 2023. Margin loan balances now stand at 37.7 trillion won, approximately $26 billion, up 5.5% from April end. Goldman Sachs's revised KOSPI target of 12,000 implies roughly 37% upside from current levels. The thesis, memory semiconductor cycles are lasting longer because AI compute demand is outpacing supply. Even excluding Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix, earnings growth forecasts for the rest of KOSPI have risen from 20% to 57% since January. The risk Goldman flags. Those two names now represent over 50% of KOSPI market cap, making the index vulnerable to sharp short-term corrections if either stumbles. Meanwhile, KOSDAQ is being left behind. Up just 11% year-to-date against KOSPI's 109%, the FSC is meeting brokerage firms today to discuss structural fixes. Samsung Securities estimates KOSDAQ's 12-month forward PE at 27.4 times, above its 10-year average of 17 and well above KOSPI's 8 times. Watch the FSC's KOSDAQ activation measures from today's emergency meeting. Watch SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics earnings as the primary sentiment driver for leverage ETF flows. And watch margin loan balances at 37.7 trillion won and still rising. That's today's AI PRISM Stock Investors. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI PRISM is a Won IFRA award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.